It's time for Onpoint, where we speak to experts to delve deeper into some of the key issues in the spotlight right now. Pfizer is seeking authorization for COVID-19 vaccine use on children 5 years and under. It will be a major step forward in the prolonged fight against the pandemic, as they remain to be the only age group yet to be vaccinated.
That's right. And how will this move change the situation, and what are other COVID-19 concerns facing the world? We connect with Dr. Seung-taek, a virologist at Zoonotic Virus Lab, Institut Pasteur Korea. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning.
So, Dr. Kim, first and foremost, COVID-19 vaccine for children 5 and under, yet to be given a full authorization. But what's your assessment on the need to vaccinate this age group, as well as the safety, but not to mention how much will this help in the prolonged fight against COVID-19?
Well, first of all, I think that this is pretty good news. So, as you said, this age group is the only group that has not been just vaccinated. Just the vaccination was not available. But I think, as far as I know, some efficacy and the safety should be okay. But all the details are not just disclosed yet. So, but when they actually applied for some authorization to the FDA, they will just disclose all the details, and this will be very critically just reviewed by the experts. And also in terms of just the situation here is that now all the weapons are now just available just in terms of prevention and also to treatment. In terms of prevention, now the vaccination will be available for all the age groups. And also there are some the people that are not actually just not respond, that they are not respond very well to the vaccination, which is actually immunocompromised people. So even for that group, now the Evusheld, this is some prophylactic, just monoclonal antibodies are also available. So now we have all the preventive measures and also some the treatment options. So maybe in the end, I think the responsibility has to be just shifted from the government's responsibility to all the individuals' responsibility.
And speaking of vaccines, it started off with, well, we just need 2 doses to be fully vaccinated, to needing 1 or 2 booster shots. Do you think COVID-19 vaccines are going to be something people will need on a yearly basis, like the flu shot?
Well, actually, there are 2 potential scenarios. The number 1 scenario is, as you said, is like just a flu shot. We're going to get some annual COVID shot. That's one potential scenario. And then the second is that there are other just endemic coronaviruses, which actually cause very mild disease, such as common cold. For these common coronavirus, we do not get vaccinated. So another the potential scenario is that we are actually being these actually just the COVID-19, the SARS-CoV-2 will not just disappear from the human society. It will just somehow circulate and with us. So the thing is that we will be continually just exposed to this SARS-CoV-2 and there are also just variants, which means that by just being repeatedly just being exposed to those viruses, this will actually play a role of just a booster shot in them. So in this case, we do not need any just regular just annual shot.
Doctor, also one thing that we haven't really heard much about is the use of the antiviral COVID-19 drugs for critically ill patients. So how much of a game changer have they been when it comes to lowering the fatality rate?
Well, first of all, the COVID-19 is it's not just a simple disease. So COVID-19 sort of just has 2 different phases. So sometimes the people call this a biphasic disease. So the first phase is some virus replication phase. In this case, the drugs which can reduce virus replication can be very helpful. But in the second phase is inflammatory phase. In this case, actually excessive immune response actually damaging our body. So in this case, some drugs which can actually reduce excessive immune response can be very helpful. So based on these very special characteristics of COVID-19, so antiviral drugs is typically just reduce just virus replication, which would work only in the first phase of the COVID-19. And then if these drugs very effective, then it will just effectively just block the progression to the some severe COVID-19, which actually ultimately just reduce the case fatality. So now we have a very good just antivirals. The number 1 option is Paxlovid, which is actually very effective. At least we use this drug within the 3 to 5 days of symptom onset. We can reduce the some hospitalization by 88 to 89%. And then the second option is remdesivir. Although this is injection drugs, if we use this within like 5 days of symptom onset, we can reduce the hospitalization by 87%. And also we have monoclonal antibodies and there's some molnupiravir, although the efficacy is a little bit disappointing, but the molnupiravir can be used for the people who has to consider some drug-drug interaction, also some kidney issues. And also in terms of anti-inflammatory drugs, which actually can effectively just reduce some mortality, we have some proven drugs, dexamethasone, which is actually known to reduce the mortality by actually 1/3. This is actually for some severe case of COVID-19. And there are some other drugs, including some tocilizumab and then the baricitinib.
And some experts have raised concerns about the summer season as it could lead to another massive resurgence in cases. What's the current trajectory like, and do you think the world needs to really brace itself for another resurgence?
Well, first of all, I think we have to consider what would be our just ultimate goal in terms of just in facing the COVID-19. The virus will not just disappear from from the human society. So somehow we have to live with COVID-19. But the thing that we have learned in the past 2 years is that we have some we raise some immunity against the virus by either just a natural infection or just a vaccination. But whatever the cause is, we have two different kinds of immune responses. One is just antibody production, and the second one is just a cellular immunity. The cellular immunity is very good for just protecting the severe disease. But for the antibody response, this is actually good for just preventing infection. But this antibody response does not last very long. So somehow we are when the antibody levels drops down, then we are actually vulnerable to the infection. But then the good thing is that since we have a very robust and the long-lasting cellular immunity, we can be actually very effectively protected from the some severe COVID-19, although we can be very continually being exposed to the virus and being infected. So ultimately, based on these the things that I think this summer or so maybe in the future, I think that we are pretty much being exposed to potentially new variants of the virus, which can be reduced by some vaccination. But then I'm not really concerned about any the substantial increase of severe cases or the death.
Doctor, unfortunately, we are out of time, but we do thank you for your insights and really looking forward to speaking to you again in the future.
Thank you.